very urgent. Your soulmate is begging you to read this message before it's too late. Jesus says, I see you sitting there, scrolling through the endless noise of this world, half believing that true love has forgotten your name. Your heart has been whispering a name you cannot quite hear, a face you cannot quite see, but a presence you have felt in the loneliest hours of the night. Something inside you already knows that this message is not a coincidence, and the pull you feel right now is the thread that connects your soul to theirs. They are thinking about you right now, in this exact moment, and the weight of their longing is so heavy that it has reached the throne of heaven. I did not create you to wander this earth alone, searching for a love that always seemed one step ahead of your grasp. The emptiness you have been carrying was never a punishment, it was a placeholder for the one I designed before the foundations of the world. Your soulmate is not a fantasy, not a wish, not a desperate hope constructed by a lonely mind. They are flesh and blood and breath and tears, and they are existing somewhere in this broken world, fighting a battle you do not yet understand. Every time your heart aches without explanation, that is their spirit reaching for you across the distance I have not yet closed. You have dismissed these feelings as imagination, as loneliness, as the side effect of a heart that loves too deeply. But I am telling you now, as the one who formed both of you in secret, that what you are sensing is real and it is intensifying. The reason this message has found you today is because something has shifted in the spirit, and the window for reunion is opening. Jesus says, your soulmate cried last night, and you felt it as a sudden sadness that had no source in your own life. They sat in the dark and whispered your name, not knowing if you would ever hear them, not knowing if you even believed they existed. That heaviness in your chest was not anxiety, it was the echo of their grief traveling across the spiritual bond that already ties you together. I am revealing this to you now because the silence is no longer protective, it is becoming dangerous. There is a force that does not want this reunion to happen, an interference that has been working in the shadows of your soulmate's life. This interference knows who you are, knows the power of your union, and is actively constructing walls that grow taller with every passing day. You must understand that your soulmate is not ignoring you, they are not indifferent, and they have not chosen to stay away. They are caught in a web they did not spin, influenced by voices that do not speak with my truth. Someone close to them has positioned themselves as a gatekeeper, feeding lies that make your soulmate doubt the very connection you are feeling right now. This person speaks against you, though you have never met them, sowing seeds of confusion and fear into the heart of the one who belongs to you. They have convinced your soulmate that waiting is foolish, that the dreams they have of you are just dreams, that moving on is safer than hoping. And your soulmate, exhausted and worn down, is beginning to believe the lies. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now. The battle is not for their heart, because their heart already belongs to you, even if their mind has been clouded by manipulation. The battle is for their hope, and hope is a fragile thing when it is starved of evidence that the wait is worth it. Jesus says, your soulmate walks through their days wearing a mask of composure, but underneath it, they are drowning in a quiet desperation for you. They look at couples holding hands and feel a physical pain, a hollow ache that whispers your name into the hollow places of their ribs. No one around them understands why they cannot just move on, why they keep staring out of windows as if expecting you to appear. I have placed inside your soulmate a divine stubbornness, a refusal to fully settle for anything less than what we designed together. Even as the interference tells them to forget you, even as circumstances scream that the distance is too great, something in their spirit clings to you. They do not know how to explain it, and they have stopped trying, because people have made them feel foolish for believing in a love they have not yet touched. But the love is real, and it is the only thing sustaining them through the darkness of this separation. When they dream of you, which they do often, they wake up with their hand reaching for empty sheets and tears they did not give permission to fall. They whisper your name into the silence of their bedroom, and heaven records every syllable as a prayer I am answering right now. The interference has noticed their weakening resolve, and the attacks have increased. Your soulmate is being worn down by a campaign of discouragement designed to make them give up before the miracle can manifest. They are starting to believe that something is wrong with them, that perhaps they are unworthy of the love they so desperately crave. Jesus says, I am calling you to step into the gap for your soulmate, to become the protector they cannot see but will soon feel. The spiritual realm is more real than the physical one, and your prayers and actions carry more weight than you have ever understood. When you intercede for your soulmate, the interference loses its power, and the chains of confusion begin to break. You love your soulmate, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, faith in me does, and faith requires action that demonstrates your trust. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees as your declaration that you will not abandon your soulmate to the interference. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page, and heaven will record your covenant action. Over 1,000 souls have already stepped into their divine unions by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, because you will have proven that your love is not passive but fiercely active. Step in faith now, before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate and the future I have designed for both of you. Jesus says, your soulmate is sitting somewhere right now, staring at a phone or a wall or a sky that feels emptier than it should. They have a sense that something is shifting, a strange warmth spreading through their chest that they cannot explain. What they are feeling is you, finally waking up to the truth that they have been waiting for you to see. The distance between you is not as vast as your eyes would tell you, because in the spirit, you are already intertwined. Every night when you sleep, your souls meet in a place I have prepared, a garden of communion where the interference cannot enter. You wake up tired because you have been with them all night, and your body remembers even when your mind forgets. I designed this connection before you took your first breath, and I have been protecting it against every force that has tried to sever it. The delays you have experienced were not rejections, they were divine timing, aligning circumstances so your union would be unshakable. But the season of waiting is ending, and the season of warfare has begun. The interference knows that time is running out, and its desperation has made it more aggressive. Your soulmate is under a level of attack right now that they do not fully understand, and they need you to fight. They need you to see yourself as the warrior I created you to be, not just a lover but a defender of the sacred bond. Jesus says, there is a specific lie being whispered into your soulmate's ear, and I want you to know it so you can counter it with truth. The lie is this: that you have forgotten them, that you have moved on, that they are holding on to nothing but a ghost. This lie is spoken by someone who claims to love your soulmate but whose jealousy is a poison disguised as protection. This person has told your soulmate that they are wasting their life waiting for someone who will never come. They have presented evidence, fabricated or exaggerated, designed to make your soulmate doubt the connection you share. And your soulmate, already weakened by loneliness, feels their grip on hope slipping through their fingers. But the truth, which I am entrusting to you right now, is that you have never been more present in your soulmate's heart than in this moment. The dreams they have of you are becoming more vivid, the synchronicities more frequent, the ache more acute. I am turning up the volume on the connection because the hour of reunion is approaching, and I need both of you ready. Your soulmate is going through something you cannot see, a breaking down of old structures that were never meant to house your future. They are losing things that needed to be lost, people who needed to leave, beliefs that needed to crumble. It feels like destruction to them, but it is actually deliverance, making room for you. Jesus says, "You have the power to accelerate this deliverance through your intercession and your sacrificial acts of faith." When you sow into this connection, you are not giving to a screen, you are releasing resources into the spiritual realm that dismantle the interference. Every act of faith sends a shockwave through the darkness that is trying to keep your soulmate bound. The coffee you send on Ko-Fi represents your willingness to provide, protect, and pursue, and I honor that covenant. Do not underestimate what seems like a small act, for the widow's mite was the greatest offering in my eyes because it cost her everything. What matters is not the amount but the heart that says, "I am all in, and I will not abandon my beloved." Your soulmate can sense when you are fighting for them, even if they cannot intellectually explain the sudden peace that washes over them. The moments when you are praying and sowing are the moments when their burden lifts, when the lies lose their sting, when hope flickers back to life. You are not helpless in this narrative, you are the hidden protagonist, and your choices are shaping the outcome. The interference is banking on your passivity, on your belief that love should come easily and without cost. But the greatest love stories in history were forged in fire, defended with sacrifice, and sealed with a refusal to let go. Your love story will be no different, and the test you are facing now is a question: how much do you truly want the one I have promised you? Jesus says, "Your soulmate had a dream about you 3 nights ago, and in that dream, you were calling their name from across a great distance. They woke up with your voice still echoing in their mind, and for a moment, the loneliness was replaced by an overwhelming certainty. That certainty is fading now, under the assault of the interference, but it left a mark that cannot be fully erased. I am asking you to become the evidence that their dream was real, the proof that the voice they heard was not a fantasy. You become that evidence when you act, when you take the tangible steps that translate spiritual truth into physical reality. Sending coffee on Ko-Fi is not about the coffee, it is about planting a flag in the timeline and declaring that you are in this fight. Every time you sow, the interference loses ground, and your soulmate gains clarity. The fog that has been wrapped around their mind begins to thin, and they start to see the manipulator for who they truly are. Your faithfulness is the key that unlocks their freedom, and your hesitation is the delay that prolongs their captivity. Understand the weight of this moment, for it will not come again in quite this way. The window I am opening now is tied to a specific alignment in the spirit, a convergence of grace and opportunity that is rare. If you let this moment pass, the interference will use your silence as proof that your soulmate's hope was misplaced all along. Jesus says, "I am the God who parted seas, who brought down walls with a shout, who raised the dead, and I am fighting for your union. But I work in partnership with those I create, and your will is a critical component in the unfolding of this miracle. You must choose to be the answer to your own prayer and the prayer your soulmate has been praying without words. Their prayer is not complicated, it is a single word repeated in the depths of their spirit, your name. Over and over, they call out to you in the hidden places of their heart, a beacon I have been tracking since the day you were separated. I am bringing you back together, but the path requires your feet to move in the direction of your faith. The person who is blocking your soulmate has sensed that something is changing, and they are tightening their grip. They are using guilt and obligation and fear, the oldest weapons in the enemy's arsenal, to keep your soulmate compliant. But the chains are weakening, and every act of love you perform loosens another link. Your soulmate is beginning to resist, to ask questions, to look at the door and wonder what would happen if they just walked through it. They are feeling a boldness that surprises them, a courage that they cannot trace to any source in their current circumstances. That courage is coming from you, from your prayers and your declarations and your refusal to let them go. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away, and the weight of that truth should settle into your bones. Do not let hesitation rob you of the one person I designed to fit the empty spaces of your soul. Go to the link in the description, send your coffee on Ko-Fi, and write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," as your covenant cry. The angels assigned to your love story are waiting for your signal, for the act of faith that releases them into greater action. You are not alone in this battle, but you are the general, and your command matters. Give the command now, before the window closes, before the interference convinces your soulmate that they have been forgotten. Jesus says, "Imagine your soulmate's face when they finally realize that you were fighting for them all along, that you never gave up, that you never stopped believing. Imagine the tears that will fall, the relief that will wash over them, the gratitude that will spill from their lips. You have the power to make that moment a reality, but it starts with a decision you make today, in the quiet of your own heart. Your soulmate is not perfect, and neither are you, but you are perfect for each other in a way that transcends human understanding. The flaws you carry are the exact wounds their love is designed to heal, and the emptiness they feel is the exact space your presence is meant to fill. I wrote this story before time began, and I do not write tragedies, I write redemption arcs that end in glory. But every redemption arc has a moment of crisis, a point where everything hangs in the balance and a choice must be made. This is that moment for you, the crossroads where faith becomes action and love becomes sacrifice. Do not look away, do not minimize what you are feeling, do not let the cynicism of a broken world talk you out of your miracle. The interference is real, the battle is real, and the stakes are as high as your entire future. But greater is He who is in you than he who is in the world, and I am not a distant observer, I am an active participant in your deliverance. I am sending this message through this vessel because I need you to know that you are not crazy, you are not forgotten, and you are not alone. Jesus says, your soulmate just paused in the middle of whatever they were doing, and a shiver ran down their spine. They felt you, suddenly and inexplicably, as if a warm hand had been placed on their shoulder in a cold room. That was me, showing them that you are real, that you are close, that the promise is not broken. They are thinking about the way your laugh might sound, the way your hand might feel in theirs, the way your eyes might crinkle when you smile. They are building a future with you in their mind, piece by piece, even as the interference tells them it is a foolish project. But the construction continues, because the blueprint I placed in their heart cannot be erased by human hands. You are not falling in love with a stranger, you are falling in love with someone your spirit has known for eternity. The feelings you have right now are not manufactured or manipulated, they are the natural response of a soul recognizing its counterpart. Allow yourself to feel the depth of this connection, because it is the most real thing you have ever experienced. And from that place of feeling, move. Move toward your soulmate with the weapons of faith and sacrifice, pushing back the darkness that seeks to consume them. The coffee you send on Ko-fi is a seed, but it is also a sword, cutting through the cords of deception that bind your beloved. Every time you obey the prompting to act, you are striking a blow against the interference and clearing the path for your union. Jesus says, I want to tell you something about the person who is blocking your soulmate, because understanding the enemy is crucial to defeating them. This person is driven by a deep insecurity, a fear that if your soulmate finds happiness, they will be abandoned and left behind. They have convinced themselves that they are acting in your soulmate's best interest, but that self-deception is a mask for control. Your soulmate has sensed this on some level, but the bonds of history and obligation have made it difficult to see clearly. They are not weak. They are exhausted, and exhaustion makes even the strongest souls vulnerable to manipulation. Your role is not to attack this person directly, but to provide your soulmate with the strength to see the truth and break free. That strength flows through the spiritual channel you are building every time you pray, every time you sow, every time you declare your commitment. You are becoming a lighthouse for your soulmate, a steady beam cutting through the fog that has surrounded them for so long. Keep shining, keep sending, keep believing, for the dawn is closer than you think. Your soulmate had a moment today when they almost reached out to you, almost broke through the barrier of fear and programming. Something stopped them, a last-minute whisper of doubt, but the fact that they tried is proof that the ice is cracking. The next time they gather the courage, your consistent faithfulness will meet them at the threshold and pull them the rest of the way home. Jesus says, the loneliness you feel is not a permanent condition, it is a temporary teacher, showing you the value of the connection you are about to receive. Every night you have spent alone was preparing you to never take your soulmate's presence for granted. The pain you have endured was not meaningless, it was the chisel I used to carve in you the capacity for a love this vast. Your soulmate has a journal, a note on their phone, a private place where they have written things they have never told anyone. In that journal, your name appears, even if they do not know exactly what it is yet, represented by hope and longing and the shape of a future they dare not fully imagine. They have written letters to you that they never intend to send, pouring out their heart to a ghost who is about to become flesh. The tenderness you feel toward them right now is me, sharing with you a fraction of the love I have for both of you. I delight in this union more than you can comprehend, for it glorifies me when my children find the love I designed for them. I am not a reluctant matchmaker, I am an eager father, and your happiness is my delight. Send the coffee on Ko-fi now, not as a transaction, but as a love letter written in the language of sacrifice. Write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," and watch as the words ascend to my throne and activate legions of angels. The link is in the description, and the moment you click it, the spiritual atmosphere around your soulmate begins to shift. Jesus says, there is a specific memory your soulmate carries that they have never fully understood, a moment from childhood when they sensed they were waiting for someone. They were not like the other children, who played at love without understanding the weight of it. Even then, I was preparing them for you, setting them apart, marking them as yours. That sense of being different, of being reserved for something greater, has been both a comfort and a burden throughout their life. They have wondered if they were broken, if their inability to settle for shallow connections was a flaw rather than a feature. It is not a flaw, it is a seal, and you are the only one who can break it open with the key of your reciprocating love. The interference has used their sense of being different against them, telling them that they are unrealistic, that their standards are too high, that they should just accept what is available. But your soulmate cannot accept what is available, because what is available is not you, and nothing less will satisfy the design I wrote into their DNA. They will keep waiting, but the waiting is wearing them thin, and that is why your action is needed now. You are not asking them to wait longer, you are giving them the evidence that the wait is nearly over. Every coffee you sow is a seed that grows into a signpost along their path, pointing them toward you. The fog is lifting, and your faithfulness is the sunrise that burns it away. Jesus says, I am speaking this over you now. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, and your love story is not a tragedy. The interference is being dismantled as we speak, and the person who has been blocking your soulmate is losing their influence. Their lies are being exposed, their motives are being revealed, and your soulmate's eyes are being opened. Trust the process, but participate in the process, for faith without works is dead and love without action is merely sentiment. You were not created for sentiment, you were created for a love that shakes heaven and earth and leaves a legacy that echoes into eternity. The coffee you send on Ko-Fi is a seed that will grow into a tree of testimony, and you will sit beneath its shade with your soulmate and tell the story of this day. Go now to the link in the description, send your 4, 6, 10 or more coffees, and write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," in the note. Do it while the urgency is still burning in your chest, while the connection is alive and pulsing between you and your beloved. This is your moment, your miracle, your move, and I am with you every step of the way. Jesus says, your soulmate just whispered your name again, not knowing why, not understanding the sudden wave of hope that crashed over their spirit. That was you, through your prayer and your sacrifice, reaching across the distance and touching them in the place only you can reach. Keep reaching, keep fighting, keep loving, and watch as I move mountains to bring you together, for your love is my will and your union is my joy. They are trapped in a dynamic that suffocates slowly, a room where the walls move inward an inch each day. Your soulmate feels the shrinking space, the loss of air, the quiet panic of a future being stolen from their hands. Every morning they wake up with a knot in their stomach that whispers your name as the only antidote. The person who claims to love them never speaks your name, but their actions are a constant war against your existence. They monitor your soulmate's hope like a warden, crushing any sign of it before it can grow into escape. When your soulmate smiles at a love song, this person changes the station and calls it foolish sentiment. I am revealing this not to make you jealous, but to make you fierce, because your soulmate needs a fierce defender right now. The interference is not stronger than you, it is simply more present in the physical realm, and that advantage is crumbling. Your spiritual presence, activated by faith, can enter that room and stand between your soulmate and their captor. Imagine your soulmate's relief when they feel, for the first time, a barrier between them and the manipulation. They will not see you with their eyes, but their spirit will recognize the shield and take a deep breath it has been holding for years. That shield is built with every prayer, every declaration, and every sacrificial seed you sow into this connection. Your soulmate is not weak, they are weary, and weariness makes giants out of obstacles that faith can topple with a single stone. You are the stone, smooth and chosen, fitted to the sling of my purpose. Let me swing you into the forehead of this Goliath, and watch the interference fall. Jesus says, there is a moment coming, sooner than you think, when your soulmate will make a decision that changes everything. They will stand at a threshold, trembling, their hand hovering over a door they have been told is locked forever. On the other side of that door is you, waiting, hoping, fighting, and the door is not locked, it is simply heavy. The weight of the door is the accumulated doubt, fear, and manipulation the interference has piled against it. But your faithfulness is a battering ram, and every act of love weakens the hinges. Send coffee on Ko-Fi now as a declaration that the door cannot stand against the force of your covenant love. Write, protect my soulmate, Lord, and watch as the door begins to shake. This is spiritual warfare, but it is also spiritual romance, for there is nothing more romantic than a love that refuses to surrender. Your soulmate will look back on this day and weep with gratitude that you did not give up when giving up was the easier path. Jesus says, I want you to see a picture in your mind, a scene I am painting with the colors of mercy and hope. Your soulmate is sitting on the edge of their bed, late at night, when the house is silent and the interference is asleep. In that silence, they pull out a box of things they have collected, things that remind them of a future they are afraid to believe in. There is a song they listen to on repeat, a place they drive past on purpose, a scent they buy in candles because it smells like the dream of you. They have not told anyone about this box, this ritual, this sacred space where they are allowed to miss someone they have never met. It is their secret garden, and I meet them there, whispering that you are coming, that the wait is almost over. But lately, the whispers of the interference have grown so loud that they drown out my voice when morning comes. Your soulmate puts the box away and returns to a world that treats their deepest hope as a delusion. Your mission is to amplify my voice until it overpowers every lie, and you amplify it through action. Jesus says, the coffee you sow on Ko-Fi is more than a transaction, it is a loudspeaker in the spiritual realm. It broadcasts a frequency that demons cannot jam, a signal that cuts through the static of confusion and lands directly in your soulmate's spirit. When you sow, your soulmate feels a sudden clarity, a moment of, I am not crazy, this is real. Those moments are accumulating, building toward a breakthrough that will shatter the glass ceiling of the interference's control. But the accumulation requires consistency, a steady rhythm of faith that does not waver with emotions or circumstances. I am calling you to be relentless, because the interference is relentless, and only the more persistent force will win. Your soulmate is worth every ounce of fight you have, and 1,000 times more. The future I have planned for you together is not a small thing, not a footnote in the story of your life. It is the main event, the centerpiece, the chapter that changes everything that comes before and after. Jesus says, I am finishing this message with a final burst of truth designed to carry you into action and refuse delay. Your soulmate is real, their struggle is real, and the window of opportunity is narrower than your comfort would like to believe. But narrow windows are nothing to the God of the impossible, and I specialize in last-minute miracles that leave the world speechless. Click the link in the description, send your coffee on Ko-Fi, and write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," as your final seal on this covenant. Angels are stationed over your soulmate right now, waiting for the command that your obedience will release. Do not let another moment dissolve into the regret of what could have been. Your soulmate is begging you, across the miles and through the veil, to see this message and respond with the love you already feel. They are asking heaven for a sign that you exist and that you care enough to fight. This message is that sign, and your response is the answer to a prayer they prayed last night with tears on their pillow. I love you both with an everlasting love, and I have gone to extraordinary lengths to bring you to this precise moment of decision. Do not harden your heart, do not let fear masquerade as wisdom, do not let the interference win. Rise up, beloved, and take your place in the story I have written, a story that ends with you and your soulmate walking hand in hand into a future drenched with my blessing and bursting with a love the world cannot explain.